lovely, beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of May 24th. Well, this is not only a full moon week, but it is an eclipse week. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening this week at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, and we're going to be starting our week off really jumping in and talking about that. And we are also going to be experiencing Mercury stepping into its retrograde this week, so we'll get into that as well. So let's jump in here right away and talk about what's happening with this eclipse. And remember, there's going to be an eclipse video that is separate from this, where I am breaking down the very in-depth specifics of what is going on with this particular eclipse, so you'll be able to check that out, okay? But on the 26th, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in the energy of Sagittarius at 5 degrees. So you do want to identify 5 degrees of Sagittarius as well as 5 degrees of Gemini on your chart, because it's still our full moon for the month. So the energies, the sun and the moon, are still working in an opposition. Now, the fact that we've got the eclipse happening means we're really going to feel the impact of this particular lunar event for about 6 months. But you may, typically with an eclipse anyways, get the business delivered right up front, right? Now, this particular eclipse is not only happening and creating a buzz, creating a sweeping of energy, but it's also got this really interesting energy with Neptune, which is making it so it's like, what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing, is this really real? You know, so it can bring an intensity to this particular lunar event. Now the full moon does still tell us that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. So truly, over this next 6 months, you could find that you're ending things in these Sagittarian energies and areas of your chart. So just make sure you're checking out what these areas are. But I also think that the tight connection here with Neptune does make it so that you have to pay attention to what the real facts are, what's really going on at this particular eclipse. Is the information you have, is it the truth, or is it based out of feeling? We've also got the ruling planet of this particular moon, Jupiter, going to be in connection with Mars, and so it lends itself to a bit of an extravagance at this particular eclipse. So really, truly, you know, it's like something could be coming in with a bang, something could going out with a bang. It could just be very extravagant. Not to mention, this is all happening as well. We're right here in the midst of a Saturn-Uranus square, so that is shaking things up already. So, you know, there's a fair amount of energy in the sky that I would tell you the best and most beautiful thing for you to do with what is happening in your relationships, what's happening in your ideas of faith, what's happening with your travel plans, what's happening with your education, any of these things, is fact check what's going on. Don't jump to conclusions, don't attack, but fact check, ask questions, create conversation instead of controversy. That's going to be a very big thing at this particular moon, okay? Now, just a day later, when we get to the 27th, we're going to see Venus, who's also going to be in a square to Neptune. Now, we felt some of this energy with this moon already, so it's kind of, you know, you've been in a sense of it. But Venus square Neptune, Venus is in the energy of Gemini, and we've got Neptune here in the energy of Pisces, and they are meeting their square at 23 degrees. So I do think that this is, again, an energy where it's like, I feel like, or I think this is the right information. But there's a sense, there's something in your intuition where it's like, I think this is kind of off. Is this opportunity that has come to me? Is this person that has come to me? Is this thing I'm feeling called to? Or is this real? Right? Am I seeing it for what it is, what it needs to be? Neptune has lots of ideals, and it's in full power in the energy of Pisces. So calling things between the worlds, which is a beautiful thing that it does, raising our ideals, sharpening our spirituality. But Venus is here in Gemini, so she's kind of scattered with the facts. So I just want you to be sure this week that you are really on top of the details. And if you're not sure about something, or here's an even better technique, if something is going on and it's just the best thing ever to come into your life, if you are willing to run it by another person and genuinely hear what they're also seeing, this is a really good way to know if you've got the rose-colored glasses on or not, or if this is really that thing. Now, I do also think under this square is the place where sometimes we find that it's time for us to put our ideas out. It's time for us to share information, but we find a block, like we feel like I can't do it. And that is also maybe not as factual as you're thinking, okay? When we get to the 28th, we're going to see Mercury, who is, of course, here in the energy of Gemini, in a conjunction with Venus. So they're hanging out together in Gemini, together melding their energies. And I really love this combination of these two planets together just in general. But with these planets here, this is where I think a lot of the intellectual pursuits, I think a lot of the networking, I think whatever it is, because sometimes with all this Neptunian energy and all of this shakeup energy we've got going on, I think what we need are these very fated, very magical, mystical moments to network and to connect with other people. And this is where we find soulmates. This is where we find our inspiration in areas that were hidden and we didn't expect to find it there. I think that there is a magnetism to information under Mercury and Neptune coming together, especially in the energy of Gemini. And maybe this is a great day for you to go see that movie, watch that documentary, hell, produce that documentary, whatever it is, share the magnetism of intellectual stimulation. This is a great day too. If you are a teacher, this is a wonderful energy to teach under, because there's just something that is shrouded in a little bit of like magic, I feel like, under this energy, okay? When we get to the 29th, we're going to see Mercury step into its retrograde. Now, Mercury is going to go retrograde at 25 degrees of Gemini. So locate that on your chart, and you're going to watch as Mercury retrogrades. It turns backwards, right? We retro, we reconsider, reunion, reconnect, revise, re-edit, review, any of those kinds of things. You're going to do that with Mercury in retrograde. So be prepared to look back over these Gemini qualities, your ideas, your connections, your networks, that book, your buying and selling a house maybe. Are you buying and selling something, or your negotiations? You're going to go back over those during this Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury is going to come out of retrograde on June 22nd, okay? As we end this week, and therefore get ready just a day later to end May, which I can't even believe that, we're going to have Mars in a trine to Neptune. And I actually really like this energy. Mars is in the energy of Cancer, so it's got this very watery, slowed down kind of feel. Then it's meeting up with Neptune and Pisces. Again, it's a very watery vibe that is on the table, but it is a beautiful day where Mars in this particular placement and connection gives you this forward, protective, nurturing motion that bubbles up from the well of within, of the intuition, of the magic of the ancients that you are also connected to, right? Of every emotion, every access to every dream. It's access to all of it, and you're able to take action on it. There's an opportunity that is presented to you under this trine where maybe it's the painting, maybe it's something creative, maybe it's speaking your voice. This is that first night at the open mic. You know, this is saying that thing to your children, to your family, to your loved ones that you've needed to say. It is a strong day for emotional intelligence and creative output, and I hope that you take absolute advantage of it. Now, Mars is still Mars. You or someone else could also be in a very emotional space, and it comes out sideways, and it comes out in a state of delusion, right? That's not actually what happened in this situation. Or you get caught up in your feelings, and feelings drive, and it's not. Fact check it. Mercury is in a strong place. Fact check it. But if you can take this to the evolution of what it can be, where you let Mars fight for something good, you let Mars fight to, I was taught that tears are just liquid prayers. And so maybe this is that time we got to break down, surrender, put it down, open your heart, open your hands, let the universe in, let the inspiration happen, let another person in. But let Mars and Neptune work together in this watery combination they've got going on to move you forward in some way, move you to a space where you can surrender to what seems maybe even surreal to you, but it is absolutely in support of your being, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful week. And I know I'm just a day early, but I also want to say happy Memorial Day to you if you're celebrating that here in the United States, because we will be celebrating that as we roll into next week as well. So lots of love, my beautiful friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.